Wow, that was pretty good.
I probably shouldn't hold a plugged-in jigsaw to
No,
the
that's
face
cool.
like that. We're working on the rear door panels. Rear door panel. Last time you saw it is exactly the same way. We got all our edges sanded and our background, and Dan drew a nice little picture on there for me, so I know where to put stuff.
It's a duck.
These are the handle bezels.
Good word.
Will be going right here, obviously by the shape.
Those are draw handles. They're not actually opening mechanical handles.
Right. Exactly. Grab handles.
Yes, grab handles.
So we're making just a pod, I guess, for it to sit in, so we have something to mount to the door panel. So what we did was we wrapped vinyl around the outside of it to get the extra thickness. That's gonna fit inside of there, and then we're gonna cut out the small trim area around where the marker line is.
Like a little canned ham.
You know what? It kind of does.
What you doing, Timmy?
Making these door panels is really difficult. You really made it look a lot easier than it actually is.
This is going to show. You're going to have to... That's going to have to be...
Doesn't that get sanded down though?
Well, yeah, but see how if you look from the top, it's kinked?
Yeah.
That's not good.
Yeah.
There's really not a whole lot you can do with it now.
You can fix it. You're the man.
Oh, so I can fix it?
Yeah, you can fix it. That's the whole point of this operation, is I screw stuff up, you fix it.
Okay. Alright, so what are you doing here anyway?
We're mapping out the door panel. Remember those fancy little lines that you drew on there for me earlier? Well, now I have my ring cut out, and now I'm making the outlines and gluing them in place with these little fur strips here. I've made like a super glue armor for my skin.
Wow.
It's kind of annoying me.
Yeah, it will.
See? It's great for cuts though.
You know what I do? Sand it off.
It's a good idea.
Yeah. Use some coarse sandpaper.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna do all these fingers. That way when I play my guitar...
You won't get blisters.
That's right.
No bloody blisters for you, buddy boy.
Good idea. You're so smart.
So smart.
Buddy boy?
I don't know why I said that.
Okay,
So these are just ridges is what we're doing here.
Right. We're kind of... It's kind of like building the outline of a mountain.
Kind of.
Well, they've seen the front door panels.
Yes.
It's basically the same thing.
Maybe they have. Maybe they're skipping around.
I hope not.
Maybe they're...
Be consistent.
Be consistent. And please subscribe.
And please subscribe. Parrot Pilot.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Shameless.
Shameless.
Why are you always in my face with that thing?
Sorry, bud. Go ahead. So Timmy is now a little batch of polyester resin here, and he's brushing it on to the let's call them edges.
Ridges, I believe.
Ridges.
To be consistent.
And that's so that they'll soak that up and get stronger, and that way we'll be able to sand them and have less chance of them possibly breaking, because we'll be doing some grinding and sanding and stuff on those. And that just makes it easier.
It's a lot easier for you to explain to them what I'm doing, because most of the time I don't know why I'm doing stuff. I'm just doing it because you tell me.
But you're a good babbler.
Well, I think you're born that way. You either have it or you don't.
Yeah.
I mean, babbling is kind of like being able
to tap dance. You're either born being able to tap dance.
I disagree. I think most of that's taught.
No.
I mean, I can tell you saying I can't tap dance.
I never had a lesson, bud. And
I bet you're a hell of a tap dancer.
Videotape me tap dancing.
Well, I can't. I'm working with...
Oh, well, then I'll have to do it myself.
All right, well, videotape yourself tap dancing.
Pretty impressive, huh?
Wow. I don't even know what to say.
You never expected that, did you?
Nope. All I can say is that sucked compared to what I do.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jealousy rears its ugly head. So Timothy, why don't you show all the people watching at home how you
How do you know they're at home? Most people watch these things while they're on the move, but no one has time to just sit around and watch our fancy little YouTube videos.
I do.
Well, that's because you make them.
Well, don't be belligerent.
Okay, for everybody watching, no matter where you are. What do you want me to tell them?
Okay, we're sanding these down.
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ. What?
What do you want, bud?
I just came to see what you two jagoffs are doing.
Okay.
Called us jagoffs.
Yeah, what a jagoff. Okay.
So, you're sanding these down, giving them contour, and what's the best way to
Contour, that sounds like a hero from medieval times.
Okay, you're wasting valuable tape.
Contour. He tore a hammy.
Isn't he a Japanese diver in the Olympics?
Thought he was a ninja or something.
Ninja.
That sounds like a Japanese diver, though.
It does, doesn't it?
Or a hammy.
From Nagasaki.
So anyway,
Yeah.
when you're sanding these, what's the best way to tell where you're at if you have the right level? If you're nice and straight and
Look at them sideways.
sideways, show them. That way you can see exactly where you're at. Like I can see right here. This.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Okay.
And I have this back here. So a little bump.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
just
get-
demonstrating
I'm gonna
the
get there.
bumps. That's all. So after Timmy does this with the coarse paper, what grit paper are we using, Timothy?
I think you said 120 maybe?
Right now you're starting off with
Oh,
30,
right now it's 36.
Yes, 36.
And then we're going to move to the 120.
Yes, you have to go very carefully too. You probably found that out because you
Oh
can
yeah, it
break
eats
them
away
off.
at it real quick.
Yeah.
The ends break off.
Yeah, you do have to be a little bit careful.
Thankfully, you told me to glue them before we started this, or I would have had a lot more broken ends.
Yeah, it helps.
Yeah, if you put glue on the ends, it stiffens up the wood enough to where it won't break off when you're
Yes.
cutting it or sanding it.
Here's some 180.
Did you just start that, or did you just stop that?
Just started it.
Oh, okay. Well, hey there, folks. I'm switching sandpaper.
Yay, sandpaper.
So
We're
this
putting in.
doesn't need to match up with this?
Yeah, it should. It
Oh,
should
okay.
be like close.
Close.
It should be level. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But that'll get taken care of when you do your putty and sand at the
So
end.
why do we
Well,
smooth out the edges? It just looks better when you cover it with the vinyl?
Smooth them?
Yeah,
You mean-
why are we going with
Oh, because you'll.
fine grit sandpaper?
Well, because you'll see. Well, you're really not smoothing as much as more accurately shaping it at this point. You know, because the final smoothing will be done. Because say there's a nick in the wood.
Right.
When you putty it, that'll fill it in.
Right.
So when you sand out the wood, it's obviously going to be filled in.
Okay.
Before we do that, we're going to fill in the places with the wax paper putty technique.
Oh, okay.
And before we even do that, we're going to put all the edges to a point. So we have
This way?
in certain, well, no, not there. It changes depending on where you're at. We'll get to that point and I'll show you.
Okay.
And well, I can tell you, here's the reason. On this piece here, where it's going to sag down in,
Yeah.
you're going to do the inside.
Okay.
Okay, and then on this you're going to leave just as it is, and on this you're going to sand on the outside edge here,
Okay.
inside this whole thing all the way around.
Okay, I see.
See, like
So anywhere
basically-
where there's going to be a concave surface, it's going to be on the inside.
right, that plus this, because that's going to lead up to an edge because our piece fits in, and we want it to go up to a peak rather than like a flat area
Right.
to make it really sort of stand out. And maybe we should take a moment now to talk about leaky airlines.
Leaky airlines, yeah.
Yeah.
If you own a shop or you work in a shop, buy good airlines. I had one blow up
Fittings.
a couple weeks ago and almost take my eye out. And
Yeah.
we still don't have new airlines. And
No.
we just hose clamped them back together.
Yeah, and it leaks because it's
Poor.
worn out. It's
And then
like
you don't get
15
all the
years old.
pressure to your tool, which means that it's moving slower.
And your air compressor runs more, which means you have more water in your air compressor.
So buy air hoses.
Kenny, he's fast on the draw.
He is. It's a good thing because
Oh, he's got nothing else to do.
I'm talking on the phone.
Yeah, neither do I.
Okay.
Because people suck. Okay, Timothy.
Yes, Daniel.
Well, you brought something up while the camera wasn't on. I wanted to mention. You asked, why are we doing this again? And the reason is, there are things when I did the first time, maybe I wasn't really thinking of how other people would see it. And by showing you, I'll say things and maybe you have
So
questions.
it's like a video mulligan.
A who?
A video mulligan? A redo?
Oh. Yeah, that's
Not a
what it is.
golfer, are you?
No, I'm not a golfer.
Obviously, you're not a golfer.
Obviously. Okay, so here we go. We got this ready to go. We got our edges ground down, sanded, all shaped. We're going to use the...
Dan did that for me.
Whack.
I think I'd be capable of it.
Well,
I disagree.
I disagree too.
Who cares what you think?
I know. Here's what you're going to do. Start with the wax paper. We're using wax paper.
Old wax paper.
Old
You
wax
go
paper.
to an estate sale. Who buys wax paper at an estate
People who
sale?
buy a box of antique and vintage
Antique wax paper.
collectibles, and it happens
Look,
to be in there.
it's yellow.
Let me tell you a little
This is
secret.
from 1933. Look at the box.
Okay, look at the
Wax
box.
Tex.
Now, if you saw
Even a company.
a box and this was in it, what would you think?
I'd think old, useless kitchen garbage.
See, that's
What do you think
you.
you're gonna find treasure in a box of old wax paper? What does wax turn
What
to
this
gold
means
eventually?
is, what this means is, whoever had this also had vintage collectible utensils that are
Or-
worth quite a bit of money.
They had just really shitty cookware.
Well, I'm not gonna just.
They didn't have Teflon back then. They had to cover everything in wax paper. Pretty sure my grandma has that around her couch.
Why don't you just get busy? Here's what we're gonna do.
Now, I take it you want me to put it on this way so it sags a bit, right? You don't want it to be anti-curve.
It really does not make a difference.
Oh, okay then.
And what you're gonna do is you're gonna put it on there and don't crease it like you just did. You don't want any creases in it. And cut it out. If you want to mark it first, that's fine. Take your marker and mark just roughly. You have a marker?
It's orange.
Okay. And just quickly mark, mark right on the ridge. It doesn't have to be exact. And that's it, that's fine. Okay. Now you're gonna take your scissors and you're gonna cut that out.
Bigger than it is?
Yeah, about an inch bigger, roughly, all the way around. Well, you're slow with scissors.
It's curling up on me.
Is that what your girlfriend said?
I don't even know what that's supposed to mean.
You're gonna take your tape and you just need like a little piece and you're going to line it on there roughly and see, when I said a quarter inch when they intersect, I meant a quarter inch from where they intersect. That one.
Oh, back further.
Yeah, but like closer to the thing. And the reason you're doing that is, you'll see now, because when we put the tape on, you don't want the tape way back here. It just works better if it's a little closer.
Okay.
Okay, don't try not to, you don't want to.
I'm not creasing it.
Don't crease
I'm a
it.
window tinner. I don't crease.
Never crease. You didn't have it straight there. Actually, I didn't have it straight.
Can the camera even see what you're doing?
Yeah, probably not. Okay, now here's what you're going to do. You got that in position. You're going to take your
In
tape.
position?
Take your tape and cut off about a 6-inch piece and just set it on the side so you're ready for it. That's way more than 6 inches.
That's not. That's about 8 inches.
Right.
So it's not way more.
It's just like 20% too big. Put in. Let's see how big. That's 7 inches there. 7.5 almost.
You're cheating.
No, I'm not. No, you don't. Yeah, just put them there. That's it. Good. Okay. Now, here's what you're going to do. You're going to take your putty resin mixture. Now, I want to
How
say.
come I didn't get to mix that?
Well, because you didn't. I did it while you were on the phone.
What's the putty to resin ratio?
Well, let me tell you. What I do is, when I have putty cans like this one here, and I'm down to just like, what's on the sides, a little bit in the bottom, and it's not worth digging it out anymore, I put the lid on and save it for the next time I make one of these. And I scrape all the putty down, and that resin, and this is roughly... Are you huffing the resin again?
It smells nice.
Yeah, my
Not
God.
huffing, I'm
Breathing it.
sniffing.
Intentionally breathing it, that's huffing. This mixture is, I go by thickness. You can't really say how much percentage, to be honest, because resins have different thicknesses. Like if it's an older resin, it'll be thicker. I try to use the older resin in this, and the putty sometimes gets dried out a little bit at the bottom of the can, so it's thicker too. So you want to basically
like a syrup
like,
consistency?
I would say like maple syrup, give or take.
A little runnier maybe?
Yeah, a little bit, depends on your syrup.
Don't I need some hardener?
I'm working on it.
So you gotta add both kinds of hardener.
I add both kinds.
Both kinds?
Do you want to know why?
Because there's both kinds of mixed chemical in there? Product?
What is putty made of?
Plastic?
Putty is, well, you're actually very close there. It's thermosetting plastic. It's resin, polyester resin, along with talc. Those are the two main ingredients.
Like talcum powder?
Yep, same thing.
Same thing.
And that just like a thickener. And they also put styrene in it. It's which basically thins it out.
Okay.
Now, and there's a couple other chemicals in there too, but that's the main things. Now, the reason we use both the cream hardener and the MEKP is that there are emulsifiers in this.
I don't know the meaning of the word.
Well, I used to be a baker, and we used to put emulsifiers in the bread mixes.
So you
It
use the
helps
same
to-
stuff bacon as you do with chemicals.
Same theory.
It doesn't make me want to eat bread.
No, it doesn't. It shouldn't. So basically, that emulsifier helps it to mix.
Did you make up that word?
Nope, it's a real word.
What has emulsifiers in it?
Bread conditioner.
No,
is
this,
actually-
out of this
oh,
stuff.
The cream hardener.
The putty hardener.
Yes.
Okay.
A dollop about maybe half an inch long.
A dollop.
A dollop.
Put sour cream in here.
Yep, a dollop of sour cream.
Half an inch long.
About a half an inch. That's good. That's good.
That's it?
Yeah. And now about the same amount, roughly, maybe a little more of MEKP. Let me get this here for you. Half a teaspoon.
Maybe.
Maybe. Now you're gonna stir it in, and always start stirring. Hey, no, see, don't do that. Always start stirring.
You're gonna yell at me about stirring technique?
Yes, very important. You always should start. Hey! Why did you do that?
Got you.
You got me good.
good.
So when you start stirring, you don't want to stick your piece of stick, especially because it's MDF,
Don't stick the stick
in the MEKP.
in the MEKP because it'll soak it up.
The putty hardener in there, you can tell when it's mixed.
Sure can.
You can see that.
But everyone says not to stir putty. But we don't care here.
Well, this isn't.
We'll stir our putty if we want to.
This isn't really putty. This is a putty slurry.
Milkshake.
Yep.
We can stir if we want to. We can have ourselves a time. And if your friends don't stir, and if they don't stir, well, they're
No friends of mine.
It's stirred.
Okay. Here's
What
what
am I
you're gonna do. Well, I'll tell you. Whatever
this
you
a
do,
horsehair brush?
first thing is don't twirl your brush in the resin. You should never twirl.
Don't twirl.
You don't want to swirly. Put a little bit on the brush, not a lot. You're gonna prime these corners, and all you're gonna do is brush it in there, and that's it. And go on a direction. I'm gonna try. Go like this.
Oh, okay.
That way, and all the way into the corners. And you just need really a thin coat, just so it's all coated. You're basically getting all the sawdust off, starting that resin sucking into the wood, and that's really what you're doing. You're kind of prepping it.
Ah.
You're gonna fold this back, and then basically drizzle it on there and spread it with a stick, and just go to the line. Try not to get it on the wood anywhere, although what will make a big difference will be cleaning it up. Hold it over and do more at a time. You want to really kind of go fast when you're doing this. So that's it. And now fill the inside. Now really just scoop a whole bunch. Like, there you go. That's it. There you go. And you're basically filling it in until it's all filled in.
It's like making waffles.
Yeah, it's kind of like making waffles.
I'm good at that.
You are a good waffle maker. Okay, you need a little bit more because you have some spots. So that you can tell this is the right consistency because it's not going out past our line really at all.
It's staying in
It's staying in there, and that's really the reason for thickening it in this particular thing. Also, it doesn't have to be real strong.
Just for texture.
It's just for just enough strength.
I'll flip it over.
Yep, carefully flip it over. Try to keep it fairly flat. Okay, now, take your tape. Okay, you got it. We're a little bit short here. That's not a problem. Just sneak that up. That's
Okay.
it. There we go.
But now we're short down here.
But that's okay because there's gonna be places where it's gonna be short. And see how you already have that perfect sag? Look how nice that is.
Now we don't have to really form it.
Now we don't have to form it.
When it dries, then you just peel that off.
Now the only problem we have is if you look at it now, see how there's big air bubbles
Yeah,
right there?
it's not part
Take
of
your
that.
brush
Okay.
and lift it up on that side and fill that in. Like lift it, take the tape off on one of the corners. Yeah. If you want, you can actually fold the whole tape back. Let's do that. Let's fold the whole tape back. All the way back, all the way back, all the way back. There we go.
Okay.
See, that's it. Okay. Like, also, you can take what's in there and squeegee it out and just get it like this out of there because you really don't need it. And that way it'll still be hollow.
Okay.
Okay, now, ready? Flip it over. Okay.
Perfect.
Perfect now. And a little bit of tape to hold it. Now if you look, how's our sag looking there?
That's a pretty good sag.
Yep, nice and even, no ripples
Sag
even.
a little more right there.
Yeah, if you see that now, what I do is take your finger and very gently on the edge,
Seal it off.
just to seal it edge, so it's, there you go, perfect. Now you are going to have some maybe spots where it didn't cover, but you're just starting. This is like
Getting
the
the basic
skin
shape of it.
Yes, and that has a really nice sag to it. That looks actually perfect.
I'm pretty good.
Okay.
I'm a pretty good sagger.
Yep, it's a lot harder with the plastic, but the last time I did
If you
not
need
have
things
the,
to act lazily, I'm your
you're the man.
Apathy at its best, my friend.
What you're going to do is you still have some resin in there.
Yeah.
So go ahead and prep all of your other areas here. And we're going to go ahead and do this whole thing as a sag.
Okay.
So like right in there, all the way down to the end, and this, like over here, this section. And instead, you know, we don't want to waste that resin, and plus it doesn't have to be fresh. That's the other thing.
Right.
That resin could be on there and cured when you do that.
You want it in here, you said?
Yeah, you're gonna go
Just outline that.
outline that, and yes, that's it. You're just basically prepping it. And we are gonna fill this in on the back doors. Because if we don't,
Fill what in?
this groove, this back
Oh,
groove.
okay.
Because if you don't, eventually it'll lift off. So.
Okay.
And do your wood there. And